Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another List of Legends list. In our list today, our objective is to discuss the rises and falls of SpongeBob SquarePants. Now, originally I was going to title the video Old SpongeBob versus New SpongeBob, but I felt like such a bully, like it wasn't a fair fight at all. Everyone knows Old SpongeBob just stomps. So I think I'm just going to talk about the show as a whole and give my thoughts on everything from the start of the show to where it's at currently. So with all that said, be sure to click that like and subscribe button so I know you like my content. Without further interruptions, let's begin. Diving right back into the Bikini Bottom, my favorite place under the sea, which all started in 1999, created by none other than the man himself, Mr. Stephen Hillenburg. Rest in peace, of course. Thank you so much for giving us this amazing cartoon. Now, when SpongeBob released, it was definitely a masterpiece, something completely unique to anything we've seen before. Nickelodeon knew, of course, that they had a cash cow tsunami on their hands, because as you all know, the first 3 seasons are when the show was at its prime. It had the perfect balance of small gag jokes, and overall the show had a really nice homemade vibe, especially with the nice bubble transitions. You know what I'm talking about. The show itself overall was really dark, like SpongeBob himself, for example, is a really dark shade of yellow, and it's literally the complete opposite to what we see in SpongeBob today. At this point, the first 3 seasons, as you probably figured out by now, are more than like 300 times better than what's to come. The comedy itself focuses on small expressions, like nothing too over the top. Remember that scene where Squidward broke his toenail? Yeah, ain't nobody want to see that. Anyways, the older seasons just had an overall better comedy standpoint, especially with, is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick. Overall, it focused on balancing the gag jokes and making the characters not too expressive, so it all works out in the end. I mean, come on, the first 3 seasons brought us SB129, Big Pink Loser, Rock Bottom, and many more. The simple plots it gave us felt like the story was actually going somewhere, and nothing too random. Take Rock Bottom for example. SpongeBob and Patrick end up getting on the wrong bus, which takes them outside the Bikini Bottom, showcasing us what life outside the Bikini Bottom is like, and it's a really dark place with monsters and ghouls walking around, making everything in this episode flow through very well. Another point I want to make is that the characters acted very consistent during this time, like SpongeBob himself would be the optimistic sponge we all know and love, to asking his best friend Patrick, who is dumb but not too brain dead, for help with his license. So Patrick helps communicate him through the walkie-talkies to help him get his license, and it really makes for a good time. Now at this point in the show, Mr. Krabs was greedy, but he still cared about SpongeBob, and really looked out for him, almost like a father-son relationship in a way. It was all just really great. So with Stephen Hillenburg being a big influence on the show, the first 3 seasons were pure gold. I think that's pretty well established. Of course, there's always a bad apple in the batch, so I will say Bossy Boots I wasn't a huge fan of, since they kept overusing the sound effect of the squeaky boots to the point of actually making me go bonkers. But hey, it actually makes you feel bad for Mr. Krabs, hearing that poor squeaking all day. Poor dude. Now next I want to say one of the biggest rises was of course the first SpongeBob movie that released back in 2004. It was meant to be the series finale to the show. But of course, Nickelodeon was like, nah, not having it. This show's our mascot and makes us way too much money. So at this point, Stephen Hillenburg left the show, leaving Nickelodeon to continue SpongeBob after he left. There was a noticeable drop in quality, but overall I'd say nothing too bad, nothing too good. There's really not much to say about seasons 4 to 5, it's just a small watered down version of the last seasons. Now we can get into the downfall of SpongeBob, which is season 6 through most of season 9. Which at this point the show was at its absolute worst, like the crew would often reuse and rehash episodes over and over, adding things that wouldn't contribute to the plot at all. It really showed SpongeBob was in a state of burnout, giving us specials like Truth or Square or SpongeBob's Last Stand. Which with advertising like that, you'd think that these episode specials would drastically change the show, but nope. The character development was actually really bad at this time, like Mr. Krabs wouldn't give a bird's beak about SpongeBob, and Patrick himself would act like a complete jerk for no reason. So with the characters acting like that, it just doesn't feel like SpongeBob anymore. Another point is you can probably tell by now the show has gotten significantly more brighter and more expressive. Like the colors will really pop out at you. Not to say that's a bad thing, I just think they push it way too far with the expressions. Take the face freeze episode for example, where the whole episode is dedicated to SpongeBob and Patrick doing weird faces to the point of just like, why? Go give it a watch and you'll see exactly what I mean. Now I don't think I need to remind any of you of the time SpongeBob did gross out humor for comedy, like Squidward's broken toenail or the entire episode dedicated to SpongeBob Splinter. Overall, that was just complete garbage and I don't know what the crew was thinking on that one. So now you're probably wondering, how is SpongeBob now, with season 10 and beyond? It must be trash still, right? Well, actually, now I'd say they're doing a lot better. They're trying out new and unique ideas, so the show feels more fresh. For example, Chef Bob showcases SpongeBob providing dinner and theater by using his hand as a puppet, or Plankton trying out new schemes for the Krabby Patty secret formula. It all feels just so much better. Now, the new style is always going to be more bright, nowhere near as dark as season 1, but I guess that's supposed to be expected since SpongeBob is supposed to be a happy, optimistic sponge, so I can see why they changed it. I don't know guys, it's up to you whether you prefer the dark style or bright style, but at the end of the day, as time goes on, so will SpongeBob. All we can do is hope for the best to come and hope that the show will continue rising. Alright viewers, I think that crosses off the rises and falls for SpongeBob SquarePants on our list. Let me know what list you'd like to see next. With all that said, I look forward to seeing you with our next list.